instantly regretted it. Pain stabbed through him, and when he grabbed for his ribs, the pain in his shoulder added a nice level of queasiness to the roiling agony. "I'm not sure it's 3 broken ribs, for all the difference it makes." "Yeah, but how great does your shoulder feel?" Griff asked with a smug smirk in his voice. "The dislocated shoulder you shoved back into place against a rock wall like you were trying to knock ketchup out of a bottle?" Actually, it had felt way better after Griffin popped it back into the socket. Not that he'd admit it. Tossing and turning on the ground all night didn't do it any good, though. It fucking hurts. If Logan had been here, he wouldn't have let you do it. Logan Marsh. The 5 of them were as tight as could be. Blood brothers who did everything together, including coming to Italy for the La Sfida Internazionale soccer tournament. After a week of non-stop semifinals and quarterfinals, all of which their Roosevelt prep team won, the 5 of them had used their free day to take a bus across the Alps to ski, the ultimate European road trip for a bunch of high schoolers. It had been a day and night they'd always remember. But then Logan had scored with the hot signorina and not shown up when they were ready to leave the next morning. They joked about how much trouble he'd be in when Coach found out he missed the bus. Guess the joke was on them. Being injured, starved, frozen, and stranded was way worse than having to run 10 extra laps during warm-ups. Griffin pushed himself into a seated position, sucked in a sharp breath that probably meant the movement jarred his knee injury, concussion, or both. If Logan had been here, he would have knocked you out so you didn't feel it. Then he'd have helped me fix you. "I wish he was here," Knox said as he awkwardly wormed his way upright, one bloody bandage tied around his calf. "This almost dying thing doesn't feel right with just the 4 of us." There was enough pre-dawn light coming into the cave for the others to see Griff thwack the back of his hand against Knox's skinny chest. "Stop saying that." "What? Almost dying?" Knox held up one hand and ticked off points on his fingers. "Our bus flipped. We checked on the driver to discover he'd been impaled by a tree, and his neck was floppier than a gummy worm. Then the bus burst into flames. Even though we escaped barely, we've got 0 chance of rescue, and your plan of dragging our sorry, grievously wounded asses to safety has about a 1 in sextillion chance of working." "Sextillion? Ha!" Josh rubbed his hands together. "The math word with sex in it. I can get behind that." "There's no sex in it, Hardwick. Just a 1 with 21 zeros after it. Jeez. If you paid attention in math class, instead of doodling triple D boobs, you might know that." "I think I killed Santos." The words rushed out before Riley could stop them. Not because he wanted to cut off the fun of watching Knox tease Josh, but because he'd been holding them, and his overwhelming guilt, in for about 24 hours, and couldn't keep the words contained another second. "Bullshit," Griffin said flatly. "That tree killed Santos, the one that kebabbed him, or the broken neck from the whole flipping down a mountainside thing." "Is this because we left him behind in the bus? 'Cause we all agreed he was already dead. I'll never forget the way he looked, all crooked and wrong and bloody." Josh shuddered as his voice cracked. "Dude, he was so dead before the fire got him. I promise." They weren't listening. "But it was my fault." Riley tried to gulp in air. The more upset he got, the harder it got to breathe. "The whole crash. I killed Santos, and I'm the reason we're gonna die here. I'm so sorry." He would not cry. Pussies cried. Bad enough he'd passed out yesterday when Griff popped his shoulder back into place. So Riley swallowed down the thickness stinging at his throat and blinked super fast, and hoped the sun took its own sweet time coming up so nobody could see him too clearly. Griff stood, wincing and cursing. Then he ducked, because the top of the cave was probably not even 6 feet, and they were all pushing that. Hunched over and looking pissed as fuck, he said, "First of all, we're not going to die."